Hello, my dear friend, this is Diego, and I'm here to talk a little bit about me. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about my journey to become fluent in English, the mistakes that I've made, things that I did it right, and what you can do to improve even more your speaking skills. Yeah, that's right. And please watch this video until the end, because at the end of this video I'm gonna show you 3 tips to improve even more your speaking skills. Let's get started. So people, I'm gonna start talk a little bit about my childhood. Yeah, I think that when I was 5 years old, I started to realize that there wasn't only Portuguese in the world, because I'm a Brazilian. I was born in a Portuguese country, and then I think that when I was 14 years old, I saw an opportunity to improve even more my English, because here in Fortaleza there is a course given by the mayor house, by people from the mayor house, and it's a cheap course, a cheap English course, a cheap language course, and but people needed to do an exam because back that time there were just few positions for people to start learning a new language, and then I did the text. I could pass the exam, and then I started my English course when I was 14 years old, and but at the end of the course, it was I think that there were 7 semesters, and at the end of the course I could listen well English, but I couldn't speak, I couldn't write properly. I had some problems when I needed to read some books, and I think that happened to me because I used to study just right before the exams. I wasn't a great student, because I used to study just right before the exams, and that is a problem, because you need to get involved by the language. If you really want to learn a new language, you need to get involved by that language. You need to read books in that language, even if those books weren't given to you by your language teacher, and that's the reason why I couldn't speak properly. I couldn't speak fluently English, and also you should try to consume materials, culture in that language. Yeah, I think that I speak a lot. Maybe I'm a little bit addicted to that idiom. So and then right after that, I finished my course. I think that in 2007, and right after I was in my way to finish my undergraduate course, my bachelor degree in computer science, and right after I passed in the exam for the master degree, and I started my master degree in computer science in 2010. And back that time I read a lot of materials in English, because for you guys, if you guys are in the field of technology, you should read things that are more updated, you know. And for that reason, I needed to read books in English, because there were just few books in Portuguese that could help me. And I started to read articles, papers in English, because most of the researchers in computer science field, they work with the English language, you know. And that makes me be involved by the English language. And then I finished my master degree, but back that time I passed in another exam for being a public employee. And back that time I was anxious about having an opportunity to speak with native English speakers in their country, you know. And really I thought that I could take a course, an English course in a native English speaking country. And I did that in my first vacation. I spent almost 1 month in the United States, and I could take a course there, an English course. And what I realized there was that I could speak English even with some mistakes. If I make some mistakes, people will understand me, you know. And I realized that in the United States, people tried to correct me, but in a subtle way, you know. And I could learn a lot, even with just 1 month there. And then I did some volunteer works there, because when I was there, I was in an English language course. And most of the students there were from different countries, but they weren't native English speakers. And what I realized is that if you want to go to an English native speaking country, you must try to do a volunteer work, because it is an opportunity to improve even more your speaking skills. You can talk with people, with native speakers, you know, and you can get to know more about their lives, about their culture. And that was a magic for me, because I could do that, you know. And I could learn a lot with native speakers. And right after my period in the United States, I came back to Brazil, and a friend of mine invited me to the Polyglot Club Fortaleza, and I started to. But back that time, right after the United States, I wasn't fluent yet, you know, because I think that I missed some time. I couldn't. I don't know. I think that some of my time in my English course here in Fortaleza weren't enough, because I spent a lot of time with other things instead of the English course, because I used to study just right before the exams. And for that reason, right after the United States, when I started to go to the Polyglot Club meetings, I started to be more confident speaking in English, and I could practice a lot. And what I can say to you guys is that you can practice English in your country, you know. It doesn't matter if you don't have people, if you don't have the money to go to a native English speaking country, because you can get together with other people to practice the language, you know, in some conversations group like Polyglot Club. There are a lot of polyglot clubs around Brazil and around other countries like Paris. I think the first one was there, and you can search on Meetup app for conversations groups. You know, that I think that those are great opportunities for you to improve even more your speaking skills. Hi there people, so I totally forgot to summarize my video. So to summarize my video, I'm gonna talk about 3 things that you can do to improve even more your speaking skill. You know, first of all, don't study right before the exams, people. Yeah, you should try to get involved by the language since the beginning. And you should try to speak as much as you can and doing the exercise since the first class. The second tip, get involved by the language. Try to read books, try to watch some TV shows, try to follow guys in English, YouTube channels in English for native English speakers, like channels that talk about TV shows, channels that talk about whatever things that you like me, filmmakers. I used to follow filmmakers because I want to know how to record my videos. And the third one is speak as much as you can. Practice your languages in conversations group like Polyglot Club. So that's it, guys. I hope that those 3 tips can help you. I hope you find this video interesting, and please leave a comment for me down below and like this video, you know, thumbs up. That's it for today. I hope you like this video. See you in the next video. Bye.